This is a timeline featuring people like Shall we begin?
1670, Hudson's Bay Company was founded. Way back in 1670, Pierre Esprit Radisson and Médard de Grossière had a brilliant idea.
Brilliant.
They convinced Charles II to fund a fur trading company. They said if he supports them, then England would become competitive in the fur trade. And since Rupert's Land was a territory so rich in bisons, this would be easy.
Easy peasy.
So Charles II granted Hudson's Bay Company Rupert's Land. 1783, Northwest Company was founded. When the British took control of New France, the fur trade was taken over by merchants.
Oh no.
A group of these merchants, based in Montreal, built Fort William on Lake Superior, thus creating the Northwest Company. In the spring, goods would be shipped from England, making this very successful.
Success.
1810, the Métis settled in the Red River Valley. What is now Manitoba, a large number of Métis began to settle in the luscious valley. The valley consists of some of the best and richest farmland as it's along the river. It was also very high in the bison population, which was excellent for the fun thing we now call the bison hunt. 1812, the Selkirk settlement was funded. Thomas Douglas, the 5th Earl of Selkirk, was a seemingly considerate man. He saw the Red River Valley as a great farming community and wanted to be a part of it, so he was granted 300 square kilometers of land, in which he turned into a rich farming community.
That's me. Yes, I did.
1813, the bison hunt becomes the center of the Métis' lives. This extravagant hunt took place in the summer and in early autumn. The bison were so important as the bison offered a great source of meat, and it was used to make pemmican. Pemmican was very important in their lives, as it was high in protein and it could be stored very easily for long periods of time. The bison also offered their hides, which were made into blankets or more often robes. The entire community was involved in these extravagant hunts. The women and children drove Red River carts, while the men rode buffalo runners, which were small horses. 1814, the Pemmican Proclamation was passed. Miles MacDonald feared that crops would fail for a second year in a row.
Not again.
To counteract this, he issued the Pemmican Proclamation. This banned the sale and export of pemmican from the Red River Valley for one whole year. This was meant to protect them from starvation, but it ended up screwing over the Métis, who made a living over the pemmican trade. The Métis were furious at this proclamation, as well as the Northwest Company, as it messed up their income. It also ran contrary to Selkirk's instructions, which were to not interfere with the Northwest Company's trading.
I didn't mean it. You did wrong.
1816, the Battle of Seven Oaks. Robert Semple, a new governor, arrived at the Red River Valley after Colin Robertson had gone to make peace with the Métis and the Northwest Company. Semple came with 84 new colonists. When they arrived, Robertson warned them to cooperate with the Métis and the Northwest Company, but Semple didn't listen. Semple and 28 of his men rode out to confront the Métis.
Let's go.
This was a huge mistake. Semple failed to notice the Métis surrounding him with his men. Semple attempted parley, but it failed when one of his colonists got angry and shot at a Métis. The battle was over in 15 minutes. Semple died, along with over 20 of his men, while only one Métis passed away. The Métis refer to this as the victory at Frog Plain. 1821, the Hudson's Bay Company and the Northwest Company merged. In 1821, both companies were almost bankrupt as the bison population was growing scarce. There were simply not enough furs for the Northwest Company and the Hudson's Bay Company to run at the same time smoothly. So the British government, fearing they would lose control if both companies failed, forced the HBC and the NWC to merge, keeping the name of the Hudson's Bay Company. 1869, Canada buys Rupert Land. With the rising populations, the Hudson's Bay Company could no longer afford to govern Rupert's Land. Canada, newly forming and looking to expand, was interested in purchasing it, as they could add it to the territories, making Canada a sea-to-sea country.
Let's do it.
The Canadian government decided to buy Rupert's Land, which was 2.8 million hectares of land, for a whopping $1.5 million. The Métis weren't confronted about this decision, which sent this country into a swirling spiral of conflict and tension.
Sorry, eh?
1869, later in the year, Thomas Scott was executed. After the anti-Métis group, the Orange Order, was formed, the Métis turned to Louis Riel. They formed their own group called the Métis National Committee to fight for their rights and for their land. They saw that they weren't going to get anywhere just by communicating, so they decided they needed to get there using force.
Brute force!
They were afraid of a Canadian attack, so Louis Riel and the Métis National Committee went to the leader of the Orange Order's house, John Schultz. They ransacked it and took 48 hostages, including Schultz himself. Among the 48 was Thomas Scott. After Schultz escaped, Thomas Scott began getting violent towards the Métis. He was really angry. He ended up threatening Louis Riel's life, which was a definite no-no. He was put to trial and executed. Buffalo, buffalo.